Your name is Peter Pepper, and you have to assemble huge burgers while avoiding donuts and hot dogs. BurgerTime was released for the arcades in 1982, then ported to the Atari 2600, Commodore 64, NES, and so on. This version in special is called BurgerTime Deluxe, released for the Game Boy on 1991. Like I said before, you control Peter Pepper, and according to the self-explanatory intro, the owner of the donut shop next door wants to take you down. So he sends hot dogs, donuts, eggs, pickles, and whatever he can after you. The controls are incredibly simple, you can only move around and throw some pepper to stun the enemies. The goal of each stage is to assemble all of the burgers. To do so, you have to knock down every ingredient until the burger is formed. Assemble all of them and you're done. While doing so, you will be chased by various ingredients, and this is where things get tricky. You see, in games like these, the enemies usually follow a pattern, which can be learned over time. But in this game, each ingredient has its own pattern, so while hot dogs might choose to take the shorter path, the pickles might focus on staying on the same level as you, even if it means climbing up or down the stairs before even getting close to you. Now, add one or two more ingredients, double their numbers, and you will end up with a screen full of enemies coming from everywhere. And usually a game over, but at least in this version, you have unlimited continues. There are several areas, each one composed of 4 stages. After completing each area, you get a cutscene and a password. If you get a game over, you will continue from the first stage of that area. At first, this game looks like it's a game where you need to be fast, but what you really need is strategy. You see, when you knock down an ingredient, it will go down one level, knocking down any other ingredients below it, and so on, while killing whatever enemy is in the path. Now, if you drop an ingredient while there's an enemy on top of it, the extra weight will cause the ingredient to drop down one more level. So 2 enemies, 2 more levels, and so on. So with enough enemies, you can assemble a whole burger in one shot. Keep in mind that by doing that, the enemies won't die and will climb back up once the ingredient stops moving. The pepper is used to stun enemies, no matter how many, as long as they are all within reach. But it doesn't come up so often, so it's better to save it for emergencies. As you complete the burgers, some items might show up for a short period of time. The fries kill all enemies. The coffee slows enemies down, according to the manual. The chocolate makes you invincible for some time. And the nugget turns all enemies into hot dogs, making it so that they will all behave the same way, which can be useful. To be honest, most of the time it's not worth the risk chasing down after the items, but it's up to you. Once you get the hang of it, that feeling of despair that some people get while being chased by pickles and donuts will go away. Eventually, you get used to the mechanics. You will learn how to wait for the right time to drop those ingredients. Then, you will be able to plan your moves carefully and have a great time making burgers.